Hey there, this is Matt, and right now I'm checking in from this little cabin. So the reason why I'm doing this video here is that this is a visual contribution or add-on to the podcast that I recorded. So I just uploaded the podcast today. So today is Sunday, July 22nd. If you're not subscribed to my podcast, check it out. Just search Reality Redefined, and then once you look it up onto iTunes or SoundCloud or any other software, I think it uploads everywhere, but I know it's for sure on iTunes, and I uploaded it through SoundCloud. If you listen to the one called Balance, then this is going to be like an add-on to that. You don't have to listen to that one if you want to get the gist of it, because I want to like reiterate the same thing here. But what I want to do here is that I want to give a visual, so I'll be writing it down as we go as well. So what I wanted to share is having balance in your life. So this is something that I've learned from one of my mentors, Stuart. He's absolutely amazing. I feel like our life is very, very similar as far as like what inspires us, what our values are, and things like that. So I'm very inspired by him. And one of the things that he had taught me, and this was back in April when I went to a retreat down in Dominican. It was with other like-minded entrepreneurs, and it was actually with him as well too, as one of the coach, one of my mentors there. And we had this like little session where we were like very intimate, like about 6 or 8 of us, I believe. I think we were 8 in total in that group. So it was like the opportunity to be able to be like right there in his space. And one of the things that he was talking about was having balance, for balance in your life, and having balance in the 4 B's of life. So basically we split it up into 4 B's. So the 4 B's are body, being, balance, and business. And so body means your health, your health, your body, your physical body, like where you are as far as your health goes, so having balance in there. Your being is about your mindset. It's about your mental well-being, maybe spiritual being as well too. And then the other one is balance. Balance is your basically your relationships, so with your spouse, your friends, people that surrounds you, people that are close to you. And then business is how basically money, like how do you generate an income, so it could be in a business, it could be in a full-time job. So it's the whole business aspect of your life. And so the idea is to have balance in all 4 of them, right? And when you start having out of balance or be out of balance in one of them, then it affects the other one, right? It creates out of balance in the other one. And if you're out of balance for all of them, then you're basically completely at another level. Basically, you could be leveled, but you're out of flow because you're not at the highest peak where you need to be. So let me just put it in a little bit of a visual. And then what I want to do here is that I want to give you a real life example with my life right now, because I'm going through a lot of things. Like I'm staying in this cabin right now. I'm like in transitions. I have no permanent home, and I'm just really practicing surrendering, like just surrender to life and just be like, whatever comes, and accept for what is, and not trying to control anything. I'm just saying, you know what, I'm just going to go with it, and I'm going to let the universe guide me along the way to tell me what will be my next step, and I'm sure at the time that I need, I know that the answers is going to come up. So I just trust that. It's been a process to get there. I mean, I've been someone who's been trying to control things before, thinking that I had it under control, but you know what, man, life has a bigger plan for us, and there's a bigger power beyond us, beyond the conceptual mind. So I just surrendering. Now I just went off a little bit to the side here of what I wanted to talk about, but at least to give you a little bit of perspective of where I'm at right now, and how this will apply to the 4 B's of having balance in your life. So let's get into it here. So let me, so I got a blank piece of paper, and I've been doing, so ever since I learned this since April, I've been doing it sort of on a regular basis. Not all the time, but when I need to check in with myself, I do this exercise. So basically on a piece of paper, you would put in the four circles. So I'll show it to you here. So I'm just gonna put the 4 circles here. So here's the 4 circles, right? So I've got 4 circles, and then in the middle of them, I'm gonna put a dot, 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 right? So there's a dot in the middle of it. And then what I'm gonna do is categorize them. So they're gonna be body, being, balance, and business. Okay, so here's what it would look like right now, right? So you got body, being, balance, and business. Now it might be upside down for you, or reversed. I'll see if I can reverse the video. So it might be reversed, maybe not. We'll see with the end product or the end video. So then one from there, so one from the center point, you want to do a 1 to 8, but 5, 6 kind of like hits that line, the threshold of that circle. So let me show you. So let's do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So you see, like, this is an example over here. So you got 1, 2, 3 counting all the way up. So the 6 is close to the threshold over there. So kind of like along those lines. It doesn't have to be perfect, but just along those lines. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So you want to do this for every category. So let's see here. All right, so there you go. So it's kind of like look like this. You got like 1 to 10 for each aspect. All right, so let me check in with myself to give you a little bit of an example. So body and my health. You know, like there was a point where I was like feeling really, really good, and I'm still feeling good. This is one of the things that I've been improving on my life. Something that I didn't even realize or didn't check in on myself until like about a month ago, where I realized that I had lost like 25 pounds in the last year. And I was like really surprised, but also not surprised because I wasn't focused on hitting that number. I wasn't focused on hitting any number. All I focused about was just improving my health so that I can be healthier, have more energy, you know, feel better, just feel overall better, right? And when you're on the path of personal development, personal growth, and just like mastery, like self-mastery, like I love that. I love to find ways to improve myself, improve my life. Not always perfect, but I tried my best to do that. Health was a big thing for me, so I improved and implemented a lot of things in my health to improve myself to have more energy. There was a good point there. So it's always up and down. I know it's going to be always up and down. There's never going to be a perfect time. There's never going to be a destination where I'll be like, all right, I'm at my peak, I'm good to go. There's always going to be fluctuations, and I have to be aware of that. So that way I get to continue to make those improvements, stay on track with the things that I implement into my life. So let's just say at this time, what I would rate myself as would be a 3. I would say a 3. I'd be confident with a 3. Because I'm not at the highest peak, but I am in a good space, let's just say. I have, you know, like, have gone into an 8 things that I normally don't, but I keep it to a very minimum, you know, and I try to focus continuing on with the same regime. I'm not going to get into it in this video here. I'm sort of building something that I want to share, sort of my perspective on health and, you know, things that could maybe potentially be of good value to other people. So right now I'd say I'm in a 3 in the body side. Being, I would say that I'm in a good state. So let's just say I'm at a 2. Not perfect. I know, like, I'm never going to be perfect, but I say that I'm in a good space right now, mentally and in my being, because I'm feeling very, very happy. I'm feeling very, very confident. Have a lot of self-love, and I don't want to brag or anything like that. I'm not saying this to kind of show off or anything like that. I'm just saying this to tell you how I'm feeling, and I'm also saying this to speak to myself as well too, because you know what, this is something that I gotta like be aware of as well too, that I'm progressing in those spaces, because this has been a struggle for me, you know, like it's just been a struggle for me for a good portion of my life, to be in a state where I'm completely happy and complete and whole within myself. And I know there's always going to be room for growth, and I continue to grow, and there's no destination. But where I'm at right now, I'm feeling like in a good space of peace, a good space of happiness, and a good space of completeness, right, and wholeness. So I'm feeling really good. I'm just saying that I'm feeling really good, and so I would say like in my being, I'm at a 2. Now here's where it gets interesting. So like I said earlier in my story in the video, I was talking about how things are in balance or out of balance right now because of my relationship ending. Like, I mean, again, I'm not going to go into detail with that. I'm the one who ended it. But it was for both. The decision, I made the decision because I felt like it was the right thing for both of us so that we could both grow and experience the things that we're meant to experience in our life. So where I'm at right now is a little bit out of balance in my balance. So basically in my relationships, because of that ending, there's a bit of out of balance there. But however, I am finding new balance in there, so I'll get into that. So let's just say, however, on the scale, I would say that I'm probably, I don't know, probably between a 5 and 6. I'll say a 6. I'll put in a 6. I'm out of balance in my relationship. Because there's just been a kind of like a dip, right? So like I've been with someone for 5 years and now she's no longer a part of my life. So there's sort of a dip in there, right? So I'm kind of like been rebuilding up from that to gain myself, right? To get myself back into a state of flow, get myself back into balance, and that's where I've been kind of like off, but it's improving, right? It's on a rise and not on a down. But what's interesting as well too, like what I wanted to iterate is that there's been some improvements there because my relationships as well too with my friends and my family has been enhancing. So they've just been improving, which is really interesting. I mean, that's the way I'm seeing it anyways. Like, cause, now I'm showing up in a truly authentic way. I'm just being completely real, completely myself. Not giving a shit about potentially what people will think or judgment or anything like that. Just being completely real, and I can see some improvements. Like, just to give you an example, one of my friends, I would probably call him a best friend. His wife, we like, I didn't have anything against her or anything like that, but there was a little bit of unease between each other. Right, there was just like no real connection, let's just say. And I guess I was afraid to be completely myself around her. And I think there was a little bit of just like we were just uncomfortable, I guess, when we were in the same space. And so once I've like started to step into being more authentically real and just being more authentically real with her, it just opened up the space for her to be real with me. And then now it's just like, holy shit, like it's just another level of comfort, another level of relationship that we didn't have before, right? So, and that's just one example. It's been really interesting, and I'm just seeing like the improvements getting better and better as well too as I am showing up more authentic. It's really helping creating a space for other people around me to be more real and authentic in themselves as well too. And that's what I want. I want people to express who they really are. I want real, I want realness. I don't want a fake version. And I kind of honestly, that was kind of my style before. I would show up as this false identity because I wanted to make sure I was like being accepted or fitting in or not getting judged or not getting ridiculed or laughed at or anything like that. So I portrayed myself as being someone that I'm not, just so that I can be, again, accepted, right? But now I'm just like showing up as my real self, and it's actually creating a space for other people to be themselves. So there's an improvement getting up in my relationships, which is really interesting. So there's a little bit of off balance there, but there is improvements there. Then the business. So business is the other side. So right now, let's just say I would say I'm at a 5. I kind of like jumped real quick there, so let's just take a little breather. So I went from balance, talking about the relationships and how it's improving. Now I'm on the last B. So the B coming out as far as business, how I generate an income, how we generate an income. So right now I would rate myself at a 5. The reason why I'm putting myself at a 5 is that because of the journey of what's been happening. So one, discovering myself, investing in myself, growing, developing myself, growing, like learning so much about who I really am, and also understanding, like having so much more clarity on that. Then this has been helping me get on this path, right? So what I want to explain here in the business side is that now I'm on a path to growth in the business. You know, like I am generating an income with my full-time job. I'm leveraging that to invest in my business. But the thing is with my business is now I'm off balance there because everything is now back on the table. Because I just went through like what's called a brand incubator process. And what's been really interesting on that is that it's about discovering what are my values and creating a mission and a vision and understanding what my true purpose is. And so I'm going through all these processes right now, and I'm learning all of this, and I'm growing into it, and I'm stepping into that space. And so basically everything that I've been building so far in my business, so the brand Reality Redefined, everything that I've been sharing, everything that I've been talking, not that it's not valid, but it's been sort of my journey along the way, along this path of getting to where I am right now. So there was, although a lot of value in there, I feel there wasn't any clarity as far as what that value was for and how it was shared, and if it was really well shared in a way that was valuable to other people. So to kind of like finalize, to put a final point on that, is to say that in the business, I'm right now reformulating everything. So basically I'm treating the last 2 years as my development, my growth, as necessary for me to learn and grow, necessary for me to learn a new skill, because you know what, everything like this that I'm doing right now is brand new to me. Like everything is brand new to me. Like, I mean, I have no clue, and I had to work on myself. I had to develop myself. I had to shed off these layers of ego and false self. I had to overcome a lot of barriers, insecurities about money, and insecurities about time, and insecurities in myself, and just improving, having a higher self-belief, confidence, growth, so you name it. Like, there was just been a lot of things that I had to work on that I didn't realize I needed to when I first started. You know, when I first started, I'm like, yeah, no problem, I got this. But I had to face the truth of being like, holy shit, I needed to work on a lot of things. But that's okay, and I'm absolutely grateful for that, because I knew that that was necessary for me to become the person that I am today. And it's just going to continue to be a growth moving forward. So all I'm focusing on is, okay, well, what is it that I can improve on right now in this present moment? And so to say like this was been the process, now it's like, okay, taking all these bits and pieces, all these skills that I've learned, all the things that I've learned in myself, and then having a clarity, understanding of, okay, who is my target market? Who is my target customer? Who is it that I want to help? Who is it that I want to serve? And then saying, okay, well, how do I want to serve? How do I want to show up? What is my mission? What's my vision? What's my vision of my business? Or what's my vision of the world? And then what are my values? And then how can I incorporate that into a message to share that to my target audience, so that way I get a niche and a clarity in my business. Because the thing is that when you are trying to sell to everyone, you're selling to no one. And that's what I've been doing, is that I've been trying too hard to appeal to everybody, because that's how I've been living my life before this time, because I was always about trying to please everybody and fit into society's norms and fit into everybody's expectations, right? And I'm done with that. I want to be truly authentically myself, and I want to be able to attract the right people that needs to hear my message. And I don't care about everybody else, because those are not the people that I want to serve. And quite honestly, I cannot help them, you know, because everything that I would say wouldn't resonate with them. So it's not my job. It would be somebody else's job that has a particular purpose to fill in the gaps that they need, the help that they need, in the perspective that they need to hear at the time that they need to hear it, right? So all I want to focus on is what the message that I bring to the market. So that's why I'm saying I'm out of balance in my business, but I am improving, getting clarity, and then growing from there as well too. So this is the experience that I wanted to share with you. So basically, like, this is what it would look like. So I kind of like circle the ones that I'm at to check in. So essentially what that would mean when we look at it is that we say, okay, well, if I had everything, let's say at a 2 or 3, or maybe a 1 or 2, then it would be like a straight balanced line, right? And that would be state of flow, right? So that's my state of flow. So if I have everything lined up, everything would flow, and then things flow much easier in that space. Now, I am doing some struggle. Like I do have some struggles, you know, in my balance and my business. But the thing is that it's about course correcting, right? It's always about course correcting. We always course correct every time. You know, we're riding a car. We're always course correcting when we're driving, right? We'll be driving and we got to course correct, you know, to make sure that we're still staying going straight on the highway. We're riding a boat, you know, like, and we're driving a boat. We're always course correcting. Something happens in front of us. Well, we need to course correct again and kind of like go around. So that's what I mean, is that now I'm doing course correction in my balance, creating better relationships with my family, my friends, people that I've met, like-minded people, getting myself more surrounded. Now this is getting clearer for me because I had a lot of struggle with that even throughout the process, and then clarity as well too in my business. So I'm working on that right now. So I'm like getting that clarity. So the whole point I want to do is that I want to share this because this is valuable. I feel like this is valuable for everyone to do and to kind of check in with themselves. But also wanted to help and let you know, like, just being real with you. I'm human and this isn't perfect, and it's always going to continue to be a journey. It's always going to go ups and downs, and I'll probably have out of balance in my body one day. So that will probably affect my other things as well too. Like, think of it, you know, if you're not feeling well, then you know right away, like it's affecting your relationships. You know, like, let's say you're sick. Well, you can't show up as best to your spouse or your friends, or you can't show up as best when you go to work or in your business, and you know your employees or your business, your customers and things like that expects you to show up in a certain way. If you're sick, it's really hard for you to do that, right? And sometimes, you know, you have to stay at home and rest and get yourself healed, right? So it creates off balance, but that's like in a one-day process. But when we think about it throughout our whole life, sometimes the body could be just in general, you know, could be in general, like we're not healthy, we're not eating healthy, and we're not having the highest level of energy. So sometimes that affect other aspects of our life as well too. Same thing with our being, you know, like, and that's where I feel would be the most important for me. Number one is my mental well-being. If I'm out of balance, my mental well-being, then it affects a lot of aspect of my life, right? Because if I'm not in a good space of mind, then I'm not in a good space of being aware of the choices of the things that I eat. If I'm not in a good space of mind, then I can't show up best for other people. If I'm not in the right space of mind, then I can't show up best for my business and my customers. So being, for me, is the most important. That's what I feel. That's what I feel like is most important for me. Maybe for you it's something different. Maybe for you, having the right relationships and the right balance in your relationships and having that at a higher level is more important. And if you have that in check, then things gets better in balance with everything else, right? That's like, you treat that as more of a priority. Like, maybe you're more of a family person, right? Meaning you're more family orientated person, then that could mean that becomes a higher priority for you. Maybe you're more balanced in business, you know, maybe business is your main thing, and you know, you make sure that you have balance in your business, and when you do, it's easier for you to get everything else in check with everything else, right? So as far as every aspect of your life. So this is a good exercise, I said, like, you know, to put in together. And then the final point that I'll make on this is that what I usually do is that I'll look at this and I'm saying, okay, well, right now, let's say my body, my being, I'm in a good space, but I feel like my relationships and my balance and my business is kind of like off, so, right? So now I'm out of flow, right? Because now I'm not having a straight line across, because I got 3, 2, 6, and 5. So therefore, I'm out of balance. So now I need to like focus on balance, focus on business. And keep in mind this, not to say that I'm going to neglect my body and my being. This is still very important, but to put more emphasis on this, more emphasis on my relationships, more emphasis on my business. And therefore, that way I can bring that back into balance so that I can have a higher state of flow. So that's what I wanted to share today. I'll stop it right here. I think this has been very valuable. Again, something that I would recommend that you implement in your life. Maybe check in with yourself right now, just see like where you're at with all of those aspects, and be honest. Be honest with yourself. Don't justify it. Don't try to say, well, you know, like my body, I'm gonna put like a 2, but you know, like you justify saying like, oh, I've been eating healthier and things like that. You know, you could be on the progress, but just be completely honest with yourself. And when you put it in, just think whatever first answer comes to mind. You know, whatever is the first answer comes to mind. So when you put your body, you say, okay, well, where I'm at on 1 to 10, if let's say 5 comes up, then go with 5. You know, and don't think about it. Don't wait even more than 5 seconds, because as soon as you wait more than 5 seconds, then your logical mind comes up, then your ego comes up, and then it starts to say, well, oh, well, no, you should be more of a 2 or 3 because, you know, compared to this person, you're much better, right? And then you start comparing and labeling, and it's just you get too far deep into that space, and then you're like, okay, well, where am I really at, right? And I'm talking again from my own experience. So just be completely honest with yourself and check in with yourself for where you are at with each aspect of that, and then see where you're at and where you need to focus on first. So hopefully this is valuable for you. Please feel free to reach out to me if you want to discuss this. Maybe we can get on a call real quick, have a quick chat on this. I'm more than happy to guide you along the way. Maybe give you some perspective guidance that could help you. Feel free to comment as well too in my video. Send me an email. Let me know where you're at. Maybe where you're balanced, like where you feel like you're in a good balance, but where you're off balance. Or maybe you are in a full state of flow right now, and you know, and if you are, please share. Like, I mean, wherever you're at right now, I'd love to hear it. So just just reach out. I'm completely open. I'm not going to judge in any way. So if you say you're out of balance in your health or in your relationships or in your mental well-being or in your business, like, I'm not going to judge. It's completely open space. I just want you to fully express who you are, and feel free to reach out to me and share that with me. Because I hope to have the opportunity to have a chat with you and guide you, maybe give you some guidance, some perspective that can help you improve what is it that you want to prove. I'm more than happy to do that. So thank you for checking it in, and I will catch you next time. I got to work on that final thing. I got to work on, like, how do I close these videos? I usually say, like, oh, thanks for checking in, thanks for watching this video. Maybe there's no right or wrong way to do it. Let's just say goodbye for now, and I'll catch you next time. Cheers.